The Salem Witch Trials, one of the darkest periods in the American legal system. The year was 1692 in the small, tightly knit community of Salem, Massachusetts. And it all started with a group of young girls and a terrible accusation. In January of 1692, two young girls, Betty Paris and Abigail Williams, began experiencing fits, contortions, and wild outbursts that doctors at the time couldn't explain. Diagnosis? Not illness, but witchcraft. Fingers were pointed at three women, a slave named Tituba, a beggar named Sarah Good, and an elderly woman named Sarah Osborne. All three were accused of practicing witchcraft. The legal system at the time didn't rely upon evidence as we know it today. Instead, it relied upon spectral evidence. You might ask, what is spectral evidence? Spectral evidence is where the witnesses can testify that they saw the spirit or the specter of the accused in their dreams attacking them. And that was enough to get you sentenced to death for being a witch. 20 people were put to death, 6 men and 14 women, based upon this spectral evidence, which by today's standards is ridiculous. The most infamous execution was that of 81-year-old Giles Corey. He refused to plead guilty or not guilty. So for that punishment, he was pressed to death. His last words, more wait. The trials were a legal nightmare, and hysteria spread like wildfire through the community. Those accused were hanged, crushed, or died in prison. An interesting fact here is that nobody was burned at the stake. That is something that happened in Europe and in earlier times, but not in Salem, Massachusetts. Governor William Phips finally intervenes and says spectral evidence will no longer be allowed in these trials. But the damage had been done. This wasn't the first or the last time that fear led to legal injustice. My next one is a ghost story that you probably know. If there's a case or a story that you want me to cover, let me know in the comments.